you're working in Figma, you have probably seen those little effect control in the right panel and wondered, what do they actually do? How can I make my design stand out using them? Today, we'll be covering effects, and you can apply these effects to layers and objects to change or adjust their appearance. Hi, this is Tulsi Nakum from KnowHow Academy. So let's walk through what we'll be covering today. First, we'll start with drop shadow. We'll learn how to use drop shadows not just for elevation but for building soft, modern UIs. We'll create a neomorphic button, a style seen in wellness apps and minimalist dashboards. Then comes inner shadows. You want your buttons to feel interactive, right? Inner shadows stimulate pressed in states and are perfect for toggles, switches, or subtle depth effects. Then, layer blur. You'll see how to use layer blur to guide attention. Think of Spotify style blurred backgrounds where the content becomes more digestible. Now we'll talk about background blur. This is the signature effect behind Apple's UI design. We'll learn to create transparent, blurred cards that let background content peek through, perfect for dark or dynamic UIs. So let's start with drop shadows. Drop shadows help you add depth to your design, but used correctly, they can make your UI feel soft, modern, and even 3D. So let's take an example. Let's create a rectangular button inside a frame and we'll make it a bit rounded at the corner. And we'll change its color to purple and add a text in it. Now select the rectangle, go to effects on your right side panel. You can see it here above the export and below the stroke. Click on the effects. We can drag this over to a frame and we'll choose drop shadow. Now you can see there is a slight shadow below a rectangle. Let's increase the opacity so it will be more visible. See, as you can see now this button gives the feel that this button is in the air above our frame. In drop shadow option, we can change the position of shadows. Let's say, let's shift it to right. We can also make this shadow blurry. If we increase the number, it will become more blurry. And if we reduce the number, it will give us a sharp shadow. See, as you can see. And not only this, we'll use spread to spread the shadow more. It will increase, basically this spread will increase the shadow area. And not only this, we can also change the shadow color. We'll go to our color palette and let's say I want a yellowish shadow. We can also reduce the opacity of the shadow. Or if we want, we can also increase it to the full. So now, as we have understood what the drop shadow is, let's create a neomorphic button. So firstly, what is neomorphic? Neomorphism, it refers to a design that is soft and subtle and which is embedded within the background, giving a very tactile feel. So let's see how to make it. We'll create a rectangle button with rounded corners and we'll choose a dark color. Let's say we'll keep our background color same as our button color. We'll choose a rectangle. We'll click on effects and we'll choose drop shadow. Now, so to give a neomorphic look, we need two things. One is a light shadow and one is a dark shadow. So we'll create a dark shadow first. We'll choose a color or a darker than the color that we should have chosen for button. We'll keep the position of our shadow at the corner side at the 45-degree angle. And we will increase the spread. Now our darker shadow is ready. We'll create a light shadow. We'll click on this plus icon button. We'll keep the color lighter than a button color. And we'll keep the position in the opposite direction of our dark shadow. And then we'll increase the blur and reduce the opacity. Now, we'll add some text in it. Now, as you can see, our button appears 3D and it looks that as it is embedded in our frame. You can create such multiple buttons, toggles, etc. and you can create a full app UI using the Neomorphism. Let's move on to inner shadows. Inner shadows create a depressed or inset effect perfect for pressed buttons, toggle switches, or input fields. So let's see what is inner shadows and how it looks. First of all, we'll create a frame and we'll again create a button. We'll keep our button color complete white. We can easily see our inner shadows. We'll go to effects, click on this drop down and we'll choose inner shadows. It gives the effect of such that we have pressed that rectangle or there is a cut in it. It gives an inset look. We can change the direction of the shadows. We can go to our X and Y position. We can drag it and change the position of it. Not only these, even inner shadows has the same functionalities like blur, spread. We can increase and decrease the blur. We can increase the area of our shadow by increase the spread amount. And not only this, we can also change the color of our inner shadow and can also change the opacity. For example, we'll choose reddish color. Not only this, you can also apply inner shadows in your text. Now, we'll see what is layer blur. Layer blur, it blurs the entire object. It's used for creating depth or shifting focus. So let's see how we can make this blur content. Again, create a rectangle and choose any color. Now, go to effects and choose layer blur. It has blurred your rectangle element. You can increase the blur and see the intensity of the blur has increased. You can use this layer blur in your images, in your other text elements also. Okay, let's try adding a text on it. As you can see, by blurring the rectangle, our all focus is going mainly on our text. So it helps you shifting the focus on main elements. And the last effect, that is background blur. This background blur effect blurs everything behind the object, but not the object itself. See, layer blurs the element, but background blur blurs the background that is behind that element, whatever things that are behind it or under the element. So let's create it. But first we'll write a text. Now we'll create a rectangle over it and we'll choose the effects as background blur. But for this, we have to reduce the opacity of the color. For that, we'll go to our fill section and we'll reduce the opacity to say 40. You can see the text that is under the rectangle element is quite blur. Let's try and reducing the blur intensity. Let's try changing the color of our element and we reduce opacity. See, this is a Glassmorphism effect. Let's add a soft white border for it. Go to stock section, add a border, and our glass effect is completely ready. As you have seen, these glass-morphic elements can make UI elements stand out and guide user attention. It's a popular design trend that adds a contemporary look to user interfaces. And lastly, some design tips. Use effects intentionally, don't overdo them. Second, match your shadows and blur to your brand's tone. And lastly, use accessibility best practices. That means it's crucial to avoid relying solely on blur or other visual effects to make content readable. Instead, we should focus on ensuring that text and other elements are inherently legible and understandable for all users. So let's review what we have learned today. First, drop shadows. What it does, it creates an outer shadow around objects to give a sense of elevation or hovering. Then, inner shadow. What it does, it creates a shadow inside the edges of an element, making it feel pressed in. Where it's used in switches, active states, and text fields. Then, layer blur. Layer blur, it blurs the layer or object itself, softening its appearance, and it is used in background images, header overlays, and model backdrops. Then, background blur. It's crucial. It blurs content behind the element and not the element itself. Remember. And it is used in transparent cards, floating panels, app drawers, etc. Effects are not just decorations, they are functional design tools. Used correctly, they help with visual hierarchy, readability, and even accessibility. Thank you for choosing KnowHow Academy for your IT source. We are always there to help you navigate to the tech world. It's been a pleasure sharing this information with you. Stay curious and keep learning.